Norwegian black metal. That's what we have here for review today, with a relatively new band called Vintlechkeit, which is a band name not so typical for Norwegians. This is actually a compilation CD with Dode, menn, vinteren, and Likene i snoen. According to Google translation, this first one means something like dead men in winter, and Likene i snoen something like bodies in snow. The theme obviously being winter, snow, and dead people, dead bodies. As you can see, this is a nice looking cardboard digipack released by Wolfspell Records, which is doing always such a nice work with their digipack releases. Everything looks pretty and feels nice to touch, and well, there's nothing wrong with the quality otherwise. This time, however, when we're talking about the music, unfortunately, I must say I am quite disappointed. Now, everybody in black metal scene is pretty much more or less fans of Norwegian black metal, so why would this kind of band be a disappointment? Well, Vintlechkeit is a kind of a different having a kind of a different approach to black metal, and I will explain here how. Here you should see now the Metal Archive site for the band, and as you can see, since 2017 this band has a vast amount of big amount of different kind of demo releases, that along with some splits and of course some compilations. Why? Of course, because in essence these compilations are made of these demos and then put into one cover. For example, this Dode, menn, vinteren / Likene i snoen is made of these two demos here before this Voivodus Vintlechkeit split. So technically it's kind of about doing demos first, then doing a compilation. And actually this approach makes a lot of sense. To be honest, it's very close to what Hermodor, the Swedish one-man black metal project, is doing also with Wolfspell Records. First releasing a EP or kind of a single in digital format, and then later on with couple or maybe three EPs or singles put into one cover to make a full album. So it kind of works in a rather nice way. The problem as such is not with the format in question, but rather with the music. Like said in the Vintlechkeit description here for the genre, it's labeled as black metal / ambient. And to be honest, I think it's a very accurate description of the music here, because what we have here with these lengthy tracks lasting almost 62 minutes is that it's kind of a combination of or rather combination of rawish black metal and ambient parts. And these two are very two different breeds just forced together. And to be honest, I'm more fan of this ambient stuff with these songs rather than the black metal ones. Now the thing with the ambient ones is they are just ambient, like kind of a cosmic feeling, kind of a space-like feeling, if you will. That is, not much is really happening. It's just kind of a these kind of a synth parts which are very minimal in nature. Nothing really happens in the terms. There are no rhythms, beats, vocals, melodies and such, which is just what I like. Ambient in its minimal format, creating or actually feeding more like imagination with its multitude of images. Now when we go to the black metal side of the band, I mean there's so many flaws I am hardly figuring out where to start from. First of all, one of the problems is that none of these riffs are exactly interesting. It's more like this kind of a dissonant guitar playing which doesn't lead to anywhere. It's just like running in circles. You're like, okay, this is gonna go somewhere, and 62 minutes later you're like, that really didn't leave any kind of tracks in my mind. Nothing here is something that I would go back to. It's just kind of noise. Not exactly noise, but I hope you know what I mean, because these are just kind of a boring guitar playing stuff. And it doesn't really help that the lo-fi production is there to kind of make it all sound more messy, even more dissonant. Now, If that isn't enough, now when the drums enter the game, it's more like, what the hell are you doing? It doesn't matter if it's a drum machine or human-made drums, because what in essence happens here is that these drums sound very clumsy, and they sound, at least when we go to tom-toms and other parts, it seems like somebody's just, batting cardboard boxes. So in essence, it makes feel like this is really crap playing. So I really don't know whether the bigger problem is the really crappy production or the just unimaginative, very boring songwriting. Now the vocals, which are very much affected and lots of delay or some effects are put into use, reverb I guess, they are pretty decent. But then again, nothing spectacular. It's not like eyebrows are being risen or anything like that with the vocals. And of course, it doesn't matter even if you have the best vocals in the business, because if the music sucks, well, nothing's gonna save it. Not better production, not better vocals, not even great top-notch lyrics. And on top of this everything, as you can notice, all the songs are goddamn long. I don't know if these songs would be a lot better if they were along, I don't know, 4-5 minutes. But when the tracks are like 15 minutes, it is a real snooze fest. So, while the band could be seen as like, hey, they know what they're doing after 20 demos or such, to me it seems like they're very much still doing their very first demo. Because if the material is here now with some 20 demos later, I don't even want to know how bad they sounded when they started, assuming the band has gone through sort of a progress or evolution. So even if you are a big Norwegian black metal fan, I find this album very, very hard to recommend just to anybody, unless you just want to go with the weird stuff or the non-typical stuff. I'm sure there are fans who actually like this kind of music, because of course, why not? They're fans of even Rebecca Black. So maybe you should give it a try and figure out if this is for your musical taste. But for me, really, really not even decent, not even mediocre release. I would say this is mildly bad. That being said, do what you have to do, listen to or listen to not. That's up to you. Thank you for watching the review. See you soon. Bye bye.